Today, I will be discussing the challenges of going back to a pursuit you were previously successful at and have had issues when you decide to pursue it again. How do we fix the mindset of I suck and follow through and progress? I'll tell you my experience. Hey, it's me, Lexi. Da, 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 da. Hello, fellow creatives. Shocked, aren't you? Yes, I know. It's not like me to not let months and months pass between videos. I told you I'm getting my act together. As I write this, I only got one comment for feedback on the video part filmed with the glasses, and it was positive. It was also from my husband, but I know he's fussy, so I'll take his word for it. Having said that, I did film this one with our DJI devices to be sure, so I'd appreciate it if you maybe go back and comment on that one. You can see my brother's scan and cut humming along here as I cut out a rhinestone template for a shirt I'm doing for Megan. No, not the shirt you saw a moment ago, a different shirt. This one right here. I did 3 different layouts, and Megan decided on the third one, and that's what the machine is currently cutting out the template for. The first one I'd seen in a Facebook group I belong to, Rhinestone University, and a gentleman by the name of Matthew Parker designed that one. This is what it's supposed to look like. I created that for Megan, but ran into some issues. That design has a whopping 1,673 rhinestones in it, so brushing in the stones was time-consuming and fiddly. That wasn't the issue. The issue was my tape. However, I'm realizing it actually was not the tape. It was me. I hadn't done this for so long, I'd forgotten best practices in picking up the transfer from the template. For whatever reason, I decided I'm gonna freestyle this bitch.
What?
Picked them up. Yeah, a 12-inch by 12-inch design, loaded with rhinestones with a thin, heatable tape. That was like so smart. So I effed it up. I picked the rhinestones off and started all over. Fine. Because I was blaming the tape, I ran inside and got a different tape. I also posted in the Rhinestone World group asking about best practices, as I kind of remembered, but at this stage I'd lost confidence and needed some feedback. So I got that information rather fast, and it was what I had recalled and didn't do the first go-round. So I did it that way, and perfect pickup. However, it was the wrong tape for sure. I discovered that when I heat pressed the shirt. The tape had shriveled up and in doing so, moved the design and messed with the placement. I was so bummed because these stones were on. Sometimes you can reheat them and quickly get them off. Nope, no budgie. So I felt horrible giving the shirt to Megan. You see, Megan had given me one of her shirts with which to create this. So it wasn't like I could just pull out another shirt and do this. And it was the first thing I'd made in a while, and it was a gift. And I was severely disappointed that it was not perfect. You really have no idea what kind of funk it put me in. No, wait, maybe you do. Regardless, I had already transferred the second template with the same wrong tape and just crossed my fingers for the best at this stage. I'd already spent hours on it. Well, it seemed to fare better, but I was just honestly devastated at how it turned out. I gave it to her and explained what happened and told her I'd make her another if she wanted and it wouldn't be effed up. She wore it anyway and washed it per my instructions. Well, apparently not all of the stones were down perfectly, and she DM'd me and showed me what had happened.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
So I told her to give it back to me and I'd fix it. Before I get to that though, let me get this newer shirt done. Bless her cotton socks, she still had faith in me to send me this other design to try out. So armed with all the information of why I failed the last time, I went into this one thinking, I'm gonna get this right. However, I also wanted to test some other template material that I had a lot of. Well, needless to say, it's trash. It's not as thick or sturdy as the stuff from Rhinestone World, and honestly, after you spend hours doing the design and the software, it's not worth it to use a cheap template material. I'm thinking the only thing I might possibly be able to use it for, and that is still doubtful, are small designs on my Cricut Joy. I will have to test that out at a future date. If it doesn't work, the whole lot can go in the trash. I hate waste, but honestly, I'll never use it again. So after that failed experiment, I got out the good stuff and cut it out. Everything worked great. As you can see, it's a much smaller design with only 373 stones. It brushed in much easier, and the tape protocol was used, and as you can see, the stones were picked up and ready to transfer. Phew. I just needed to pre-press the shirt. That removes any moisture as well as making sure it's as flat as possible for the transfer. And I tell you what, relief flooded through me when this one worked. I could give Megan a shirt that wasn't an embarrassment to wear. Hoorah! Okay, after handing that one over, I collected my shame. I had figured out a game plan to rectifying the issue. I carefully lay the template over the existing shirt and thereby see the stones that are missing and their placement to brush them in. Or place them in, to be fair. Due to the previous shifting, it was tricky to get them placed. I kept shifting the template to make it fit over the existing stones as best as I could. At one point, I lifted it up to move it, and some of the stones were lifting. Okay, well, wait a minute. This is a good thing. I'd hate to go through all of this trouble, and then the next time she washed it, more came off. So I started to rub and saw that many came off easily. So now you can watch me pick the stones off. Some were easy, some were truly stuck, but I finagled them off. I realized that it was now going to actually be easier to fix my error and ensure they were down properly by removing them all. 2 of the hearts were fine, but one of the hearts had a few stones missing, so I got that one off too. I'm not going to look at it as a waste of stones. I'm going to save all of them and to use them in paper crafting, so there are no losses. And I was really relieved that this happened because it was going to make it easier and guarantee she would not have any issues in the future. I did do a preliminary rub of the crystal rhinestones, which were the LVE, and they seem intact and they were fine. So I got this template brushed in again, which can take a while. However, it's my new nemesis of getting them on the tape that has me holding my breath. The relief I felt when I saw that everything was fine, it lifted fine. All stones came up. Now let me get this damn thing pressed before anything can happen. I am so much happier with this shirt now. It's never going to be perfect. I need to create a new one to aim for that. However, it was still worth keeping and wearing and just getting some extra time given to it to fix the problems I created at the beginning. It's in times like these I had to remember. I've previously done this without any issues, and I've been very successful at it. That reminder let me know I do not suck at this. I'm just a bit rusty. I just needed to re-practice what I already knew and remind myself how it was done. Mistakes will be made, and I should have planned for that better with a simpler design. However, what's done is done, and I'm learning to be kinder to myself and not beat myself up over something that cannot be reversed. When you have devastating mistakes, guess what? You remember that lesson. I can guarantee you that I won't be using the wrong tape again. I also didn't give up on this. I knew it could be rectified to some extent and still worn, even if just around the house. I then figured out the best way to fix it, and I applied that methodology. The last step, which I kind of jumped the gun on, is move on to the next project. I was able to complete that successfully, thus endorsing the fact I indeed do not suck, and that I just need to maybe prepare a bit more, take my time, think things through, and I will be successful. While we're talking about rhinestone templates here, I feel this applies to all things. If we really want to pursue something, we cannot give up at the first sign of a challenge, nor can we be mean to ourselves. Stop and think about the things you say to yourself. Would you even dare say that to someone else you know? Hopefully not. I'm sure I will continue to make mistakes in my upcoming journey of getting back to rhinestones and learning embroidery digitization, as well as designing, sewing, and assembling things. However, just like one bad interaction in a day does not make your whole day bad, one learning mistake on my part does not make me a failure or mean I'm on the wrong track. It just means I need to learn more to ensure I am successful at whatever it is I'm trying to do. I want you to remember when you were learning how to handwrite in school. Was that perfect when you first started? Nope. Most of us, our handwriting didn't really level out until middle school and neaten up at all until high school. It took years to do it well. While some things we learn in life have a shorter learning curve, there are many things in life that do take years to master. Appreciate that you will not be amazing right out of the gate. I know your ego really wants you to be, but your ego needs to be locked in a closet while you are learning anything new. I hope that this video has inspired at least one person to go and pick up what they consider a failed project and revisit it and realize it wasn't as bad as they thought and it can be fixed. Or if you didn't do something well the first time, do it again and again and again. I'm learning that with my embroidery digitization. Just in the design phase, you can go over something multiple times, but you have to test stitch everything, and then you can find more issues. I already knew this, and I have had to accept it as part of doing it. I am not so special that I'll ace it the first time every time. And guess what? Neither are you. So lighten up on yourself. Try and try again. If it's important to you, you will make the effort. If it's not important, don't even start. Your energy will always be best spent and given to the things that you love, and in return, as you master them, they will return that energy to you with the pleasurable feeling of knowing you're on your way to mastery. Stay creative and don't give up. I love you now. Bye bye.